moving on, before I go on to the LM curve, I'm going to be explaining equilibrium in the IS market. So, in the IS model, equilibrium occurs when planned investment equals planned savings, which is when interest rates adjust to equate investments and savings. The equilibrium is represented by the intersection of the investment and savings curve. At this point, interest rate is such that amount that firms want to invest equals the amount that households want to save. So equilibrium occurs in the IS model when our planned investment equals our planned savings, which is when amount that firms want to invest equals the amount that households want to save. So the resultant equilibrium called the IS equilibrium determines the equilibrium level of income and the interest rate. So now moving to the LM curve. Okay, so for the LM is money market. A money market is where households, businesses, and governments borrow and lend money. The L stands for liquidity preference. Liquidity preference is the desire for an individual to hold cash, irrespective of how much this investment, how much yield I'll get from this investment. It's just like a desire for one to hold cash. So people do this due to uncertainties like unexpected expenses. So like we should all know why people will want to say, oh, I want to hold my money, I don't want to invest it. Due to unexpected expenses, emergencies, and risk aversion. It's basically about prioritizing the ease of access to money over potentially higher returns on investing. This preference is included in the model simply because it determines the demand for money, and then we are looking at the money market. So it is simply included in the model because it determines the demand for money, which returns affect interest rates. The liquidity preference also helps connect the money market to the goods market, allowing the model to capture the intersection between the monetary and fiscal policy. Then the M stands for money supply, which is basically the supply of money. So here, I'm going to be explaining the interest rates. I've been talking about interest rates since. So I'm just going to be giving a brief explanation of the interest rate. The interest rate can be viewed from the lender and the borrower's perspective. The lender, it is the returns gotten from lending money out to people. It's like an additional rate on the principal. Principal is the money you lend out to people. So let's say I have $100 that I'm not using now. And I was like, oh, okay, instead of keeping this money with me, let me just invest it. Like, let me just keep it somewhere where it will be yielding like an amount, like an extra amount. So instead of like keeping the money, so we have to invest it. So once the borrower, the interest rate is the cost of borrowing. So, okay, I've given this example. I said if I have 1,000 with me and I'm not using, I can decide to invest it, and that way I'll get a percentage rate of interest on the money I invested. Then the same goes for the borrower. If they are given a 10% rate on the amount they are borrowing, they'll be returning the money they borrowed plus an extra amount, which is 10% extra. So let's say, okay, I went to a bank and I said, okay, I want to borrow 1,000 naira, and they gave me a 10% rate. So when I'm returning the money, I'm going to be paying 1 yes, as the amount. So that's just like a basic definition of what interest rate is. So moving on, we're going to be looking at the LM curve. The LM curve plots the relationship between interest rates and the level of income. For the good markets, we said it looks at the relationship between interest rate and income. That's for the good market. But the LM curve looks at the relationship between the interest rate and income that rises in the money market. But to understand the LM curve, we have to start with the theory of interest rate, which is called the theory of liquidity preference, which I've explained. So the theory of liquidity preference proceeds that the interest rate adjusts to balance the supply and demand for the economy's most liquid asset, which is also known as money. So people want to hold money for transaction purposes. That's money demand. While the amount of money available is determined by the central bank. That's money supply. Then the interest rate moves up and down to balance the demand and supply of money. So that's just basically what the liquidity of preference is talking about. Again, this theory explains how interest rates are determined in an economy. Just as the Keynesian curve is a building block, this for the highest markets, for the goods market. We said the highest curve is like based, is derived from the Keynesian curve. So, which means the Keynesian curve is a building block for the goods market. Then, this theory, liquidity of preference, is a building block for the money market. It is assumed that the supply of money, which is the amount of money available in the economy, adjusted for inflation, is fixed in the short run. Because in the short run, the price is fixed, meaning the value of money doesn't change due to inflation, and also because the supply of money is controlled by the central bank and not the market forces. So this is simply why the price is assumed to be fixed in the short run. Okay, so money supply, the supply of real money balances, it is vertically sloped because it is fixed. Okay. So I said the supply of real money balances is vertically sloped because it is fixed. I'm going to be representing that on a diagram. So we have demand and we have supply. So it is vertically sloped. This is it's fixed. So this is why it's vertically sloped. And then the one for demand is downward sloping from left to right. So this is a graph of the LM curve, like just a representation of how the LM curve looks like. So to continue, okay, this is just basically what I drew here. Okay. So the int- this is the interest rate, and then this is the real money balances. We have both MD and MSR. Yes, both money demand and money supply. Yeah. Then okay, let me see. So we're going to be deriving the LM curve here. So here we're going to be deriving the LM curve. So we're going to be deriving the LM curve from here. The market for real money balances, which is the money demand and the money supply market. So here we have the money supply curve, which is upward sloping and fixed. So I mean it's fixed. So in the short run, no, it's fixed. So no amount of interest rate can move it to be there. Then here we have an increase in income raises money demand. So since the money supply is fixed, we're only going to be focusing on the money demand curve. So it said an increase in income raises money demand from here to here. I mean here to here. So then this will in turn increase the interest rate from here to here. This is why we have this is like the old demand curve. This is the new demand curve. So after getting this will then lead us to the derivation of the LM curve itself. The LM curve summarizes these changes in the money market equilibrium. That's just basically what the LM curve does. It just summarizes the changes in the money market equilibrium. So yeah, moving on. Why is the LM curve upward sloping? An increase in income will raise money demand, of course. If my income increases, I want to like withdraw more money to have. Then since supply of real balances is fixed, supply of real balances, I mean supply of money is fixed in the short run. There is excess demand. So like if central bank says, oh okay, for this particular month, we'll be supplying $3,000 to the economy. That's just an example. It should be more than that. Then okay, and let's say the average income for individuals in an economy increases. So there will be an excess demand because okay, the central bank said okay, it's $3,000 we are supplying to the economy this month. Then people start like demanding for money, like of course there will be excess demand. Yes. Then the interest rate must rise to restore equilibrium with the money market. How will this happen? That when there is excess demand, the central bank will have to increase the interest rates on money demand, which will make consumers start demanding less. So this will then bring down the excess demand that has occurred before at the initial time in the money market, which will now bring about an equilibrium.